Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to Astro Aoki, sorta. Full moon, Capricorn. Started at the 29th degree. It's moving as we speak into the first degree of Capricorn. Capricorn 1. I'm sorry, the moon is, yes. It was at 29 Sagittarius. As was the sun. It's now officially Cancer season, Cancer 1 degree, the sun. Did a podcast of this. I did a totally amazing, perfect, just astrological hyperdrive with cards at the end. With all of them, I had tech issues. Planetary Dispositor of this new moon. It's Neptune, Pisces. I'm trying to tune this guitar to 432 hertz, but it's kind of a broken guitar. Or at least the E string is pain in the B-hole. And by B-hole I mean brain hole. So I decided if I'm going to come back, getting signs to stop thinking so much and stop not enjoying what you're doing. So lately I've decided that frequency music and 432 hertz music are my favorite thing. And since Neptune is fish-tardedly ruling this moon, and the 6th house is the house dispositor, that'd be the Virgo house, Mercury ruled house. There's a lot of tension that's been happening between Neptune and Mercury. Apparently they don't like each other, but they also seem to have a lot in common. They're both bridges. At least the Gemini and the Pisces energy are bridges. The 6th house is more healing. So this is definitely a healing moon, and sort of manifesting and rearranging everything to what is the most dreamlike, believe in like 10 of Cups sorta. Career options and communication devices. All these things are getting a wires recrossing to what they should be working in the new paradigm that's coming. So long story short, what I got out of all of this was go for your dreams, but figure out what you're best at now. Like, check in with kind of crushing your ego on what you think you're best at, and kind of move in a mutable-ish Gemini learning direction of just not like teaching elementary students. Just start moving in the Gemini direction with your Neptunian dreams. Opposing Venus. But there is strain in the feelings. The Capricorn moon, the 12th house of believing. Over to Pluto in potency, which is also formed a quincunx strain with Venus. I'm sorry, Mercury. There's a stellium from Sirius to part of fortune to Mercury, Venus, and the Sun in Cancer. Part of fortune also is strained. Forgive me. That Mercury is strained over to Jupiter and Gemini. The Mercury in Cancer of the mother, basement, your roots in the 6th house of health. So lots of mental belief, mental health aspects going on here. Jupiter in the 5th house of love. Getting some strain from the brain. Right next to Algol, we have Uranus. Also having a strain over to Chiron. Uranus in the roots, well, in the values and the family. Wounds in our identity in Aries, Chiron. Struggling indicate, third house, that but here's the good news. Neptune is sextiling Uranus and Pluto, and there's a trine between Pluto and Uranus. There's also some aspect with Nessus, but I didn't have a chance to look it up. So yeah, the centaurs are starting to rise, like in Harry Potter. And they take that pink evil biatch away. The worst villain in Harry Potter. McGonagall. No, not McGonagall. McGonagall's the awesome one. So yeah, Pluto, Aquarius, retrograde in your identity, having some positive feedback with the values of Neptune and Pisces. Apparently Eris is going to have some aspects very soon too. I think she's going retrograde. Sextiling part of Fortune and Mercury. Partial sextile. Partial trine also over to the moon. The moon looks like it's having a partial square, a semi-square to Chiron as well. That is it for the chart. Let me go over to the Planetary Dispositor real quick and explain. Yeah, the Planetary Dispositor. So Pluto is in Uranus's zodiac. And Uranus is in Venus's zodiac of Taurus, along with Mars. But Venus, the planet, and Mercury and the Sun are all in Cancer. Cancer is the luminary. The moon is the luminary of Cancer, and the moon is in Capricorn, Saturn's home zodiac. Saturn is in Neptune's home zodiac of Pisces. So therefore, alakazam. Neptune is the dispositing planet of this moon. Same thing with the chart on the right. I just get confused. All I know is that Mercury is in Cancer, but it's in the 6th house. Now, all those aspects I talked about earlier, you might want to try to remember, like the opposition of the moon to Venus at that stellium in Cancer. So the orange is the solar houses of traditional Babylonian astrology. Solar astrology. Sun is the first house in solar astrology. So the 6th house of Cancer, I'd say the Placidus house really is like the 3D. Moon, the 3D is in beliefs and endings, the Pisces house. solar chart, it's also the 7 Libra house. So your soul is getting hit more in your identity, sun, and justice and balance in your feelings of the moon in Cancer, or the sun, or I'm sorry, moon in Capricorn. Duh, this is what this is all about, right? Mercury in Cancer, same thing. Then you in 3D in your health, Virgo, refinement, 6th house. The soul, it's also hitting your Aries identity in the 1st house. Same thing with your Venus. So the sun is your personality and your ego and your father. The moon is your feelings. The Mercury is your mind. Your Venus is like your joy and value and what you do for fun and sex. And your Mars is your male force, also sex oriented, but more war. So you're making strives in the 4th house with Cancer, what Taurus value. So Mars is, I love Mars in Taurus. He just does things. He just does value. He just builds beauty, like he should be doing. But more this time around, it's more stockpiling weapons for contrived oligarchical transhumanist wars. But for you, it'll be with family, and in your soul, it will be with the collective, rallying and getting together with the real humanists against the transhumanists. Trans also means dead. So to dead humans is what transhuman means. Transition to death. And they would call it some sort of silicon crystalline avatar. But they're a bunch of crazy homunculus psychopaths. Jupiter is in Gemini in your love in the 3D, but it's also in your beliefs. And the spirituality and the soul. Saturn in Pisces is in your values and in the 3D. And in the 9D, it's in your 9th house. Expansion, higher learning, Jupiter's house, Saturn's house, Sagittarius's house. Uranus in value, Taurus in the roots as well, in the 3D family, in the mama house. The 25th degree, the 11th solar house of the collective. Unexpected shifts in your roots and communication and the collective. Your social life is being reborn. You're going back, unfortunately. Not to your new soul tribe, but the one you ran away from. According to the Leo King. On highfive.com, highfive.org, highfive.com, something like that. Neptune, 29th degree. This is Lord of the Rings going to the Undying Lands. But unfortunately, you're not dying or undying. It just feels like you're dying forever. More like the opposite of the Undying Lands. But in your values, second house 3D will shift. Soul, it will be higher learning and expansion. Jupiter's home, Sagittarius. Pluto in the identity and in the 8th house, solar. So your identity in the 3D is changing. But in your soul, it's just transforming. Rebirth. Getting deep. Getting wicked deep, dude. House, the 3rd house, Gemini house. South node. House of Jupiter. No travel. No long distance travel. Everything is local. And the 3D. And avoid anything far away and complicated in the 9th house. The south node there. And the family is not doing so good, and the roots are not doing so good, but the career and the communication is going through a transformation as well, and positive. Of fortune in the health, also 6th house 3D and identity. The vertex is in Leo. Balance and justice in the 3D and values in the spirit world. everyone, boils and ghouls. Hope you enjoyed. In this format, it was supposed to be more relaxing and not rushed. And simple, I think. I think simple. This was meant to be fun for me. I hope that it was fun for you too. Good night, everyone. Happy full moon in Capricorn. Sun stellium in Cancer season. And happy solstice, summer solstice. And yo, get crunk, y'all. Get crunk. In that, 432 hertz sort of